What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes, another day, another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news, topic, tweets, videos you want me to talk about tomorrow? Hey guys, today is Monday, October the 13th, I think. It's like halfway into October. I feel like it just became October and now it's already halfway. I feel like we're just skipping, just literally blinking, and we're gonna reach the end of the month. Hope you guys had a good weekend and stayed inside doing absolutely freaking nothing, okay? We've got more news, we've got more updates, and that's right, we got more collargate. I was really hoping that Friday would be the end to this mayhem, to this menace thing with collargate and Hasan and the dog and the zaps, okay? The memes have been absolutely freaking hysterical, okay? But it's not. It's not over until it's over. People have been finding new clips. There's been new updates. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, at least not this week. There's been a couple of new clips that people have been pointing out. I think that's been in the past with Hasan, where it looks like Gangi was kind of, I don't know, the suspicious clips. I'll show you in a second, okay? However, as a result that all the drama has been happening with Hasan, there have been a lot of changes happening around his circle. This man has actually even hit Fox News, which I'll show you in a second. This article here, though, saying Pokimane and lilypichu announced that they have canceled their scheduled podcast episode with Hasan. Quote, "It did not feel right uploading tomorrow's episode at this moment." If you guys don't know Pokimane and Lily, okay, love those girls. They have a podcast called Sweet and Sour, where they just, you know, they talk. Because that's what podcasts are for. However, they made an update that said, hey, taste buds, this is a tough one to write, but we wanted to give you all a heads up that we're unfortunately going to be missing our first scheduled Saturday video tomorrow. We've been watching the recent drama unfold concerning our guest, and it's been getting intense. We had a serious talk as a crew, and we all agreed that it did not feel right uploading tomorrow's episode at this moment in time. Our community is our favorite thing, and the reason we do this is to create a space that is comfy as always and a true escape. We do not want the impact, the cozy atmosphere we've all built together. Thanks for always supporting our vision for a fun, positive place to hang out. See you all next week, Sweet and Sour staff. Oh man, the Hasan effect happens again. I think there was a lot of drama when it came to Hasan when he appeared on the Trash Taste podcast, right? So people were like, I don't know if I want to have another Trash Taste podcast situation here. Hasan and his haters, right? And his energy, his dissenters, and the people, the snipers, everything that happens with him, man, it's it's not a good look. So here's Hasan on Fox News. That's right, Fox News is getting in on collargate, bro. Oh my god, I'm not laughing at the potential like possibility of Kaya getting shot. That's not what I'm laughing about. I think I'm laughing at the absurdity of 2025 to the point where it's like, if I would have told you last month that Hasan would be on Fox News for potentially zapping his dog and that memes would be flying around like him being raided and electrocuted, if I would have told you that, you would have never, ever believed me. And yet, like, here we are. It's actually happening.
Our left's most popular influencer, Hasan Piker, doesn't just hate America, he also doesn't like dogs either. A video is going viral of Piker. Our left's most popular influencer, Hasan Piker, doesn't just hate America, he also doesn't like dogs either. A video is going viral of Piker allegedly abusing his pup, Kayla, with a shock collar. Warning. This could be disturbing.
I hate this country.
We've seen this clip so much. I'm not going to show it, okay? We've seen this so much, right? I mean, you guys have seen it. It's funny, though. It says, one sick puppy. Like, oh my God.
Now, Piker denies that he hurt his dog, and it looks like the left continues to drool over him. The Big Weekend Show first told you about this guy back in May. The New York Times did a glowing piece on him and called him the Joe Rogan of the left, which I don't really follow him that much, but I can tell you he's not the Joe Rogan of the left. But let's start with you, Tommy. You know, when you hear a dog yelp, I mean, you watch the video, and I'm a dog lover, so I'm having trouble being...
It's crazy. I didn't know about this, the Big Weekend Show or whatever. Okay, but it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're here. Fox News, live. People are watching collargate live on their TV shows, bro. Oh my God.
Unbiased about this. He says that the collar was just a vibrating one and he didn't do it. But you see him ranting about hating America when he sees his dog gets off the bed, which I presume is his prop for hours of this podcast. And he reaches for something. And the next thing you know, the dog's like, "Bah!"
Yeah, I can't tell if it's a bed or a treadmill back there. I was trying to see what it was. There's a lot of tchotchkes in there, I guess they would call it, just sitting around. It's hard to see what it is here. I would never use a shock collar on an animal. I mean, as you know, and Joey, you know, I'm like probably the biggest animal lover here, maybe even more so than Griff. We'd have to fight over that. But again, I can't get over him saying how he hates this country so much, and then you allegedly shock your dog. And this is the guy the left is like, this is our guy. This is the guy, they call him the one that's going to communicate to the manosphere, the leftist values for the manosphere. He is, you know, the answer to the right and conservatism. If that's their answer, is it any wonder young men are more conservative than ever?
Damn, y'all see this? They don't know what the hell is actually happening. They don't know who this guy is. They haven't seen a single stream. They are just they were like, this is ammunition. They're like, the leader on the left might have shocked his dog. Oh man, no wonder everyone is turning to the right. Like, oh my Lord. Bro, Hasan is getting cooked. Okay, he is getting cooked. I don't care where you stand on which paradigm or shift. Okay. Mans is getting sniped everywhere. Miss Mans got snipers. As for another update, we have an update with Valkyrae. We talked about her on the last episode. She came out and talked in defense of Hasan, saying that Hasan spoils Kaya and that she's a big boy. And she was saying she wished that people carry the same energy for other things like genocide and all these other terrible things around the world, and call people morons and kind of crazy for essentially insinuating that Hasan could be doing this. The thing that's happening that I'm noticing is that if anybody has any kind of suspicions towards Hasan in this situation, they are usually being met with being called schizophrenic or chronically online or some kind of ad hominem. It's usually like a verbal abuse of why would you think this kind of situation is what I'm seeing being pushed around the internet, including to myself. Anyway, here's Valkyrae responding. Okay, apparently she was catching flack in her own community for reaching out to Asmongold. A lot of you guys know who Asmongold is. Okay, probably the biggest streamer out there when it comes to the political space. Ex-WoW player. I think he streams on Twitch, but there's no ads or something. I forget exactly where he is, or maybe it's YouTube. I can't remember. But anyway, Asmongold is a guy that's out there, and he pushes a lot of the right-wing rhetoric. However, a lot of the views that he says that he tends to share is also left-leaning. I don't know. Mans one day might say something about like eviscerating Palestine and saying they're an inferior culture, and then the next he might say something else. I don't really know where Asmongold stands. The point is, though, is that she reached out to Asmongold and I believe somebody else to kind of get advice when it comes, I think NMP Lull, when it comes to like responding on Reddit. Maybe she was feeling like, should I make a reply on live stream fail? Should I talk to them? Should I say something? And they were kind of like, nah, not a good look, not a good idea. You would get completely obliterated. Just stay away. However, it seems like her audience did not like the fact that she consulted with Asmongold.
At the end of the day, it is my fault for not being aware enough, and I apologize to my community. It was probably so hurtful and so jarring. I'm under a rock, and that's my fault. So I think everyone, including myself, should be more aware of, you know, what's going on in the world and what people are saying. I just like, it is my fault.
Okay, so just pausing. So Valkyrae saying like, I'm under a rock and I should be aware of what's happening and I don't know anything. Okay. Which I don't think a lot of people were surprised about. Valkyrae is not the person that you go to when it comes to finding out what's happening around the world. And she's also not very vocal when it comes to the particulars as well. She's more of just like I'm girl and I play gaming type thing. That's kind of like the lane that she's been in. So, but yes, people are saying that yes, again, she doesn't know about all of the things that Asmongold said. They may be getting upset with her that she, again, consulted with Asmongold for her own self-preservation, which, in my opinion so far, okay, Asmongold actually gave her very good advice. Stay away. Stay the hell away, bro, okay?
At the end of the day, that is my fault. Literally no one's fault but my own. I'm not aware enough, and that's on me. Ray, you're a good role model still at this point. I don't think so. I don't think I am. I think I have a good job of recognizing when I do mess up and accepting that and being okay with it. But and it's all good. It's okay. All like I hear you guys. I see you guys. You're right. You're so right. And it is 100,000% my fault for not being aware enough. And I need to be more proactive in being aware of people and what's going on.
So I think she keeps repeating the same thing, that she needs to be aware, but I'm a little concerned, okay? Because to me, it feels like Valkyrae is just kind of like listening to her chat, which again, runs in the family. Just listening to your chat will be at your own peril and your demise, okay? Like if I just listen to you guys, there's a mixed bags of you guys in it. Y'all are wild. I know y'all got some skeletons in your closet, okay? Y'all don't think I don't know, Daddy Omni don't know, but I know that y'all are weird, right? But just listening to people and being like, oh yeah, and that's kind of like what your stance is, or that's where your opinion is. It feels like you don't have like your own thought, right? How do I put this? It's good to listen to others, right? But also, it's also very important to stand on your toes as well and have your own beliefs and your convictions and your own views. Again, it's important to be open as well, right? But to spend enough time to kind of create a stance. And in my opinion, again, when it comes to her reaching out to Asmongold for advice, I don't see any issues with that. He gave her very good advice, and then she followed it. She's been protected from it. At the end of the day, her being punished for seeking counsel from the enemy, I don't know, bro. I don't know how I feel about that.
Listen, guys, even when it's happening to me, it is 1,000% okay to hold people accountable for actions and mistakes, okay? I think that the biggest discourse is seeing, like, I feel like the community is split. Like, some people are being too harsh, some people are not being harsh enough, and it's like I see you, okay? It is a good thing. And because of that, I was able to do like a deep dive. I was able to leave my rock and see and be more aware of it. And, you know, I need to be more aware.
So again, no offense to Valkyrae. Okay, got nothing against the girl. Okay, I hope she's doing well. I don't think she still knows what she's talking about. She's only repeated the same thing over and over and over again. There's been no specifics. There's been no details. I don't even know what she's actually referring to. Like, I have to double check to make sure this is even about Asmongold. But my guess is that she just doesn't know anything about anything that's kind of going on. And, you know, someone would be like, hey, then send you a link. And then I have to believe she's just not very well educated in this department. And that's fine. That to be honest, that is okay. It's not... No one's telling you to know everything about everything. There's no mistake for not having the right information at the right time, in my opinion. I don't think you have to apologize to your audience for that specific fact, especially when your job and your thing here has been to just making gaming content. Okay, so I don't know. I feel a little bit certain way. I feel a little certain way. I feel a little bit certain way, but I want to double check to make sure that she's literally just talking about Asmongold here. So I think I found some evidence, okay, that's been popping around. There's been a lot of tweets, people basically vocalizing their dissent and disdain for Valkyrae. It reads here, I stopped watching Ray streams a while ago just because I got tired of the I'm dumb and I'm not educated enough excuse for so many important topics, especially when she is close to people who can literally inform her on things. So I'm not surprised, but it still sucks. Sad emoji. As a Middle Eastern viewer, I feel like I need to say this. Talking to that guy after she said free Palestine makes it feel like it was performative. If you truly believe in that statement, why would you associate yourself with a guy that stands with the complete opposite of it? Laura said, Ray, some people dislike you because you're true. Don't lose your truth just to earn their approval. If you twist yourself to be liked by everyone, those who loved your real shape will no longer recognize you. Also, maybe look into the people you ask advice from. I have to say that it feels like this is very manipulative, okay? If you're a true homie of Valkyrae, if you're a true fan of Valkyrae, right? Then your biggest number one concern would be her safety and survivability, right? So if the ops sends you information that basically protects you from getting destroyed on the internet, right? We take those. But also, like the last one, it says here, if you twist yourself to be liked from everyone, and then literally in the next line, it says, also, maybe look into the people you ask advice from, right? So it's almost kind of like saying, why would you listen to this person? You probably should be listening to us. It feels it feels like a very strong lack of self-awareness, and what's occurring, in my opinion, is this push-pull dynamic that's created through tribalism, okay? That makes people kind of lose their sense of self and having their own opinions and being worried about saying their own things. And then it literally, like, if I say this, it makes people upset, and if I say this, it makes people upset. Guys, ever since I've been covering Hasan and Ethan and some of all these things as well, okay? Every time I talk a little bit of shade or have an opinion that goes from one side or to the other, right? And it hurts one group of people, right? I lose thousands of subscribers, okay? Omni, I'm so disappointed in you for having this opinion on Ethan. Unsubscribe. Omni, I'm so disappointed for you having this opinion about Hasan. Unsubscribe. Omni, I'm so, and it's like you're entitled to have those disappointment kind of things, but there's always the people who are saying, I've been your fan for 10, 15 years, and you gave this one opinion, and I realize you're not on my side. It's, you can't bend to people. You have to be yourself, right? At the end of the day, if you're not just being yourself, then you're just being something that what other people want you to be, and that's not yourself. And then you always have to keep trying to keep up with this other version of you that's not you, that people want you to be, and then it creates this dissonance. It's not healthy. There's more tweets here. It says, as a Ray viewer, I'm getting more disappointed in the fact we keep hearing her say, I'm dumb. I make mistakes. I misworded what I was trying to say. I wasn't thinking, etc. Can this actually be a learning lesson and not a continuous pattern? Many of us hope she learns. So I would say the neg talk from Valkyrae is it's not healthy. Okay, from what I've seen so far, and just a few, clips of Valkyrae, and kind of over time as well. But the whole calling yourself dumb thing I don't think is very healthy. Also calling other people dumb and moronic in terms of other things as well, I don't think is healthy as well. Calling anybody dumb, I think, is a way that negging yourself or negging others is not a healthy way of communicating, okay? And it's actually okay to not know everything. You don't have to put yourself down or feel disappointed that you have not educated yourself to a point that you feel like your audience tells you that you need to be at. That's my opinion. Just be yourself, and people who love you for who you are will accept you for who you are, and not the knowledge or the lack of knowledge that you know. Trying to be held to standards of your audience is impossible, especially when you're somebody like Valkyrae, it's impossible, okay? Now, to be frank, if you didn't start to talk about specific topics, okay, if you get into the field, if you decide to go, all right, let's go, let's talk about, and you don't know, then it's going to look a little weird. But if you let people know, hey, I'm trying to educate myself, I'm attempting to learn, then that might be a nice little buffer, because I think actually understanding and talking about a lot of these topics dissuades people from wanting to, because then they have these people who have this holier than thou mentality that say that you're wrong, that you're uneducated, that you're on the wrong side of history, that you don't know what you're talking about. When you're in here just trying to kind of understand it, and people are like, no, you're understanding it in the wrong way. You've asked the wrong question. You're pointing fingers at the wrong person. No, this is the issue. And so you get into that, right? And people are like, whoa, this pool is kind of hot for me. I think I'm just gonna go back into my own little bubble and play video games, because if I jump in here, I'm getting stabbed no matter what I do just by existing, bro. It's a little prickly. Zing Zing said, I hope Ray decides to take her time thinking everything through and educating herself before she addresses this most recent issue. Quote unquote, uneducated, uninformed can't be used as a scapegoat like she usually does, because at this point, with so many resources, being ignorant is a choice. that is true. Okay, when it comes to the war with Palestine and everything that's happening in Gaza, okay, it's been 2+ years. And if you don't know at least the basics, it's because you've chosen not to look into the basics. There's so much news at one point in time you can say, let me figure out what's going on. Let me try to understand it. Let me look it up. Okay? You can even be like, hey, ChatGPT, can you explain what's happening? Something can occur there where you can start educating yourself. Doesn't have to be nuts. You have to know everything about everything, but I don't know the extent of Valkyrae's knowledge or not. Finally, this says, I'm trying to figure out the best way to articulate my disappointment. Mentioning on stream that you went to Asmund for advice gives legitimacy to a person that deserves none, especially so when the topic itself is to give the appropriate amount of consideration to the Palestinian genocide. You're talking to a person who very publicly said that Palestinians come from an inferior culture and since then has only learned more into celebrating a fascist administration. So that's a lot of people's issues, and they are 100% justified in having that. Why would you go and seek advice from somebody who is basically supporting ideals that hurt me and my family and my tribe and my people? And the rhetoric that is spitting out is not good. Why would you then go to this person? I can respect that. And for anybody in here who feels the way that this person is feeling and all of that, again, I can respect all of your opinions here. This situation is very, very freaking nuanced and not black and white because in my opinion, you know what I really honestly think? If all of these people who hated each other online were put into a room, right? They would probably get along. They would probably have a lot of things in common. They would probably be a lot more cordial than you think, right? It's like that meme where you see those dogs barking at each other from a fence and then you put them in a room. But then when you actually have the human to human contact experience and then you start to talk, then you start to realize that the other person is human just like you. And then it becomes a place where, in my opinion, people actually have more in common than less. Now, I do understand the concept too as well as Asmund Gold and all these people and Hasan pushing out a lot of different ideals that people don't agree with. So for somebody like Valkyrae who kind of like floats around and just plays gaming and she's friends with all these creators and not really into the politics space, she's not the politics girl. She's not the politics girl. And then people trying to hold her accountable for not knowing all of this. I can't subscribe to that. But that's Valkyrae. And that's her fans, and that's her fan base. You guys know me, right? I'm going to talk to anybody I want to talk to. I'm going to find out. I have been talking to a lot of people about this situation as well. Some people where you're like, oh, I didn't know you. I've been talking to a lot of people about this, trying to find out what's going on, trying to get objective information, trying to see how people feel, okay? Because I encourage conversation, even with people that I don't agree with. That's how I feel, at least. But you guys can let me know how you feel about this whole Valkyrae thing. Now we're going to move on to the clips that just popped up. That's like now the new clips that people are saying is added evidence that it might look like that Hasan could be potentially shocking her dog. So guys, 2 new Hasan clips have come out, okay, that kind of look a little sussy-wussy, all right? And I'm going to play the clips for you guys. You can come to your conclusion as well, and I'll give you my opinion on it as well. But as you guys already know, based on what we've been looking at so far in the clips, it does look a little bit sus to me. I've had this opinion for quite some time since I've been seeing the clips, and I'm like, huh? What is over there? He does this thing, this pattern where he looks back, and then he kind of looks at something, and I'm like, it can't be the nicotine patch again, right? This clip, and then there's another clip as well that was from like a year ago, where again has this high correlation. It's kind of funny, right? Because I mean, I'll play the clip too as well. But I've talked to a lot of people about this situation. All right. I've talked to a lot of people that you'd probably be surprised that I've talked to try to get the information to figure out what's going on. And I've said directly, this does not look right. What the heck is going on? What the helly? And I've also talked to a few like Hasan fans, right? That have been like, Omni, you're an idiot. You're a moron. You're just schizophrenic. You're just chronically online. You're just looking for ghosts. You're just looking for something that's there, right? And I don't know if I subscribe to that. I feel like I'm being manipulated a little bit manipulated and gaslighted, okay? Because even Hasan and Valkyrae have communicated that the clip looks bad, right? That it's like, yeah, this looks bad. I get it, right? But then when there's another clip that looks bad, and there's another clip that looks bad, and there's another clip that looks bad, and there's another clip that looks bad, right? And then there's the electrical tape, right? That I don't know the answer. What's going on with that? The mystery of the electrical tape. Over and over and over. It's like, okay, I don't want to believe it. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but there is a correlation. All right. When I talked to the fans, they didn't even want to look at the evidence or the clips that I mentioned. Okay. They did not want to take a look. They were like, I've seen him for thousands of hours and I've seen his interactions with Kaya. So I just refuse to look at anything that could be pointing to another potential option, which I think is kind of like, like the rose tinted. Refusing to look at evidence that could potentially paint the person that you support in a bad light, I think it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. Okay. It's quite literally blinding yourself to potential options or truths. That's how you create cults. That's that blind following. So I'll play it again in case you haven't seen it. She's here. She's chilling. He's talking about the commemorative mug that he got from England. She's kind of off frame, not in that corner spot that she's usually at.
A commemorative mug I got.
And he does this thing where he reaches to that. Look at his eyes. Look with your eyes, with his eyes. He keeps always looking at something is always there. And it's always the same thing. There's always this thing where he kind of like looks over there and then Kaya has an action. And then he looks over here and then Kaya has an action. Is it a coincidence? Potentially. Mans is streamed so much that you can find a clip of him looking in that corner. And at the same time, the dog coincidentally repositions herself. Like if you dig hard enough, right? That you can keep seeing him looking over there, which looks like to be reaching something. And again, if it was just one clip, I'd be like, I don't know about that, right? A little weird, fine. But multiple ones, huh? What do you mean? So anyway, he's looking, right?
From England.
His arm reaches out. He reaches something with his left arm. Is it the nicotine patch? I don't know, but he's reaching.
England.
And then she gets up. And what does she do?
Mug I got from England.
She repositions herself at the spot that I think that he keeps saying is the place. And also he paused his sentence to do something. So again, I'm not schizophrenic and I'm not looking for ghosts or chasing ghosts. Stop it. Don't tell me I'm crazy, but it's a little weird. There's another clip. This one is apparently from a year ago. Okay. You got Kai in the background floating around and just walking around.
It is a direct consequence of underpaying, hiring not enough people, and overworking the people that you have hired. It's absolute garbage. Did you compare this to the Japanese airport experience? Yeah, the Japanese airport experience is like everything works, everything is fast. Kaya, place.
Bro, chat. So Kaya, place, not doing the... There's something. I think there's something there. Chat. Stop. Don't tell me that. I just say chat because I think I've picked up on the brand. There's got to be something there, bro. And then the arm, the pickup with the arm, it's always the same motion.
Get back there. What is this?
And then Kaya, look, he looked again. And there's multiple clips of this. Okay, there's multiple clips, and if it's a vibration collar, then but we're being told that it's not. We're being told that it was a nicotine patch. We're being told that, so it's not adding up. Okay, I'm from around the block. I want to leave benefit of the doubt, but also there's a lot of room for doubt. It doesn't look very good. We do have people who are in support of Hasan. Okay. The supporters, okay, for the people who are to believe that he's innocent. Okay, you got this guy here, Evan Loves Warp, saying, I feel like I'm going insane. She leaves outside the view of the camera constantly. This is literally Hasan's stream right down, and she's not effing on the camera, you effing dipshits. Okay, again, there's this high correlation of always calling people idiots or names. Why? It weakens your argument when you start calling people names, bro. But he's showing a clip here. It's just and he's showing a picture, an image where just Kaya is just not in the frame. Okay. I don't know when this was actually taken or this was recent. Okay. So, I mean, again, Right, in my opinion, if you're being accused of keeping your dog in a corner and also you are accused of potentially shocking, okay, that's what the accusal is. I'm probably not going to keep doing the thing that people say that I'm doing, and I'm going to probably show as much evidence as like that's just the logical way of defending yourself. So I don't know if this works as evidence to say like after all of this shabackle, the dog is no longer there, right? Like it's the Pandora's box has been opened. Objectively, I feel like this evidence is just weak. Okay, not me trying to get into the sense, just saying objectively it feels weak. Here's also another one of Hasan's supporters. This is Froggen. I haven't heard from a long time. I believe she's currently going through a lawsuit with H3H3. I can't recall. This is also the same person that we talked about who said that she was hoping for like I can't remember those exact words. Okay, so I'm gonna just say allegedly, but something about like all military people should get PTSD and die. She had said something very, very awful about the troops, and that did not go over very well. And she was really mean about it. And then she doubled down about it and started laughing about it as well. I remember that. She was also in the shabackle with Twitch and Ethan Klein, and there's some, what was it? Some hummus tier. I don't know. I don't know a lot about her. Except for just from the clips that I've seen from her, she just seems to be a bit of a mean person. That's it. I've just seen her just been kind of mean.
Then Hasan got canceled. For what? Or for Kaya? That's a disaster. I've been seeing that shit all over my timeline. But he cleared his name.
You want me to go and put a certain collar on my body and be like, this is wrong. This is it. Is that what you want me to do?
Dude, the whole shock collar thing was crazy.
It is. I couldn't even be on fucking Twitter today. Every post was about the shock collar gate.
Oh my god, the way
shock gate.
Whenever I see you on Saturday, or actually no, I'll tell you, I'll text you later. The shit I need to talk about certain people.
I already know who it is. I already know who it is, and I've already seen it.
And you already probably know what I'm gonna say.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I literally took a nap to like zone in because I was like, I literally could expose this person right fucking now. But I'm not going to. I'm gonna go to bed. Tell them.
No,
don't
say it.
I would. I just hate shitty people. But yeah, no, the collar gate is crazy.
It's so stupid.
What are your thoughts on shock collars?
I don't agree with them.
I don't
but
agree with
I
them
understand
either.
why I know why they exist. I would rather a shock collar than a prong collar. But they also make them that don't shock. They just vibrate.
It made me think of Jenna Marbles' pet dog. People are so annoying with drama.
I just know certain people actually killed their dog and they have like opinions about it. And I'm just like, you need to like relax.
I'm just like, I just think so many people are like just jumping on it. And I'm like, I don't know.
As someone who's bought a designer dog, you gotta flaunt that shit. You gotta flaunt a designer dog. You have to.
Well,
yeah, so that's my feelings on Shockgate. I don't want to say anymore because I'm like, this is...
I don't either. Like, he debunked
God
it.
forbid somebody comes over and is like, oh, they there.
He literally debunked it. He showed the fucking collar on stream. Like, what more can be done?
People are being like, he taped this area to hide something.
I don't know who the person was on the other side of that conversation. It was a very hard conversation to follow. That's Froggen and somebody else saying that yes, he's debunked it, and people are just jumping on it and calling everyone dumbasses, and you know that's their side. Some people have brought to the attention to me that apparently it's pretty difficult to prove the innocence of a potential false negative, right? Saying that this situation is very difficult to prove that you haven't done these things because they're clips from the past, as you can't show it, et cetera, et cetera. So you can't really get your way out of this. In my opinion, I think there was an opportunity to kind of prove yourself. Like when, again, we've had this conversation. If somebody's in your chat or you find out midstream that someone says that you're shocking your dog, and I believe that the most appropriate response to dunk on the entirety of the internet is to take that bad boy off right there in front of everybody, show the dog, show the Kaya, show that there's no, boom, flip it around, show, boom, and then rub it in their face. Rub it in their face, you idiots. This is not a shock collar. Look, you don't. That's what I think a normal person would have done. Did not happen, and at this point in time, I don't think that there's anything that Hasan can do to prove his innocence. I literally don't think there's anything. If I was an investigator, like a private investigator, right? I would try to figure out that specific collar. When was it bought? You know, and get that verified when that specific collar was bought. When did it appear on the stream? And then when it was appeared on the stream, then I would try to find out the bank details. Did he order it on Amazon? Look at the purchase history. Pull up the purchase history. Look at the collar. You know, so even me, if I'm a Hasan at this point, what I would try to do as evidence is find the purchase order of that specific collar at that time, showing when it actually came into play, and then showing that the collar has. That's what I would do. Is I would find a way. I feel like I would be able to find a way, but Hasan is unable to at this point in time. And that's the update. That's the update that comes to the Hasan collar. Collargate that's currently happening. You guys can let me know how you feel now that there are more clips that are popping up that kind of show that there's a similar pattern happening. Do you still feel that people are chasing ghosts, or do you still believe that people are just, he streamed so much that the people are finding things that look like it is, but it's not? It's just all false negatives. They're not true, but because he streamed so much, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out in defense of Hasan. But every time I talk to people who say that, they just tell me that I'm stupid. That's it. That I'm stupid, that I'm paranoid, that I'm schizophrenic, that I'm chasing ghosts, that I'm an idiot. And I'm like, that doesn't, I don't know what to do with that, brother. I still haven't even made a decision, and I'm still being called names without even coming to an absolute conclusion. That's the wild part. But again, I feel like this whole situation is a very interesting, like, social commentary, again, about like the internet space and how things work. There's a very, very good chance that there's a lot of people who are not speaking out about this, about Hasan, because they are worried about what might happen if they do. They might also be worried that they might be wrong. You know, imagine kind of support saying like Hasan would never, and then something happens and you find out that there was a never, and you're like, oh no, don't want to be on the wrong side of history there as well. There's also the concept of like the culture and people worried about if you do support Hasan or you do say that you like him, then you then suddenly raise the army of the people who hate Hasan coming at you, right? But as the way it's around, if you don't like Hasan, then you raise the army of the Hasan supporters that come and don't like you with pitchforks. And I already told you guys, these streets are not safe. So it's tricky. And then as a content creator as well, like you got Pokimane, you got Valkyrae. I'm sorry, not Pokimane Valkyrae. You got Pokimane, you got lilypichu, who are kind of concerned about the Hasan effect of putting him into a podcast, and then what would actually happen to that podcast. That podcast would be blasted, and then obviously would get a lot of negativity in a place where they don't want that. It would get the trash taste effect. I don't know what Hasan can do. Man's got snipers, but also man's got footage that don't, like, he's his own sniper too as well. So not only does he got his ops, but he puts himself in situations where sometimes he's his own op as well. And I don't know what he can do at this point. You guys can let me know how you guys feel about this situation. Okay. Are you convinced? Are you still trying to figure it out? Are you still waiting for room? Are you still waiting to come to your conclusion? Or are you just like, I'm good, Hasan's the shot guy and he's just hiding it and he's lying? Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Quick update, a few things that you guys probably need to know that's going to be happening this week. Some news that's popping up. There's big chungy wungies. Okay, Pop Crave said the second No Kings protest is set to take place nationwide on October 18th. Okay, in opposition to Donald Trump and his administration, organizers anticipate over 10 million participants, which would make it one of the largest protests in American history. The last time the No Kings protest happened, I was here. You guys know I live in the DMV area. Okay, the streets were crowded everywhere, even places that were non-residential. But mainly, if any place had a metro that was a walking distance and you were driving down the street, okay, I was driving down the street called Rockville Pike or whatever, bro, massive amounts of people standing there shouting, people on the horn honking their trucks, blah, blah, blah. It was absolutely huge. And now they're saying we're going to do No Kings 2 Electric Boogaloo, okay? Pun intended with the last thing we were just talking about. People are saying it's going to be the largest freaking one. We'll see what's going to happen to it. there has been some like questions and debates in terms of like the effect of it. People feeling like it's kind of just publicity and it doesn't really do anything and it's just performative, but it's not actually changing anything because, you know, blah, 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 blah. This person here said, credit where it's due, rallying 10 million people in an incredible organizational achievement. But if those 10 million people march, make their grievances known, and Trump ignores them all the same, what has actually been accomplished? Nothing. You've proven that you can mobilize masses to express discontent. Great. The ruling class already knows people are just because they don't care. Okay, so disagree. I don't know who this person is, but disagree. All right, there is power in showing people, I would say, discontent. I remember the last No Kings protest, and I think a lot of people were just kind of like, what's going on? What's happening? And the fact that people will walk around and be like, what's going on? What's happening? That means that they're asking questions and they're finding out that there is a movement. And then the movement is making, in terms of becoming, spreading awareness. And then people are like, wow, this is a big movement. Okay. You have some people out here who hate Donald Trump's guts. Okay. Hate him with a passion. And sometimes they feel like with everything that's going on with the media and the news that they don't have any supporters or blah, blah, blah. And then they see all these people protesting like, wait, I'm not alone. Wait a minute. And it can help then again come people and create unites when it comes to the protesting. That's exactly what occurred last time. And this is why it's going to be double the amount this time. So I disagree with Misha when it says that like protesting, marching, okay, the Million Man March, marches and protest, regardless of having a direct impact on the wallets, it does not mean that it's fruitless. In my opinion, it's kind of like to express and show the people that they exist and in numbers. It does a lot for morale, at least. Said the last No Kings protest ended in consequence because there was no material leverage, no economic disruption, no cause for ignoring the workers, just symbolic expression that changes and challenges nothing. Why does this read? Oh boy, I'm gonna stop. Whenever I read, sometimes I feel like something looks like ChatGPT, and I stop reading. Just symbolic expression that changes. No, there's this thing with ChatGPT where it goes, no something, jest, or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. But anyway, the point is that, no, just because you didn't hurt their pockets, just because you didn't hurt the economy, just because someone didn't die, just because you didn't ignore their workers, just because you didn't materially damage something, didn't go out there and cause war and disruption. The thing too, as well, in my opinion, as well, like I've been watching this whole thing very closely with the Trump administration, and it does feel like my man's is looking to catch hands. He's looking to catch strays. He's got militia in places where the militia is not normally at. My man's got people at the protests, and the protesters and the ICE, they are super freaking violent, right? And so like, I feel like my man's is out here and it's like, make a move, do it. Give me a reason. And I will start Civil War II right now. That's the energy that I feel that is happening and that is occurring, because my man's is quite literally finding ways to use the military to go to places like Portland or in Illinois, to in Chicago, in order to just run a freaking muck, bro. So I feel like tensions are high, and I'm a little bit worried about this No Kings protest, okay? Because something bad can happen. The last protest, I believe there was just kind of just people just out there, and there was video and there's recordage and stuff, so I don't believe anything like terrible happened. But man, it's one of those things. Well, y'all seen Full Metal Alchemist, bro, where it's one of those things like one bullet, one shot, like something. One thing. And the crazy part is that it might not even be from the party that you think it is. You know, like it's always these people who start these kind of like fights in the in crowd, and it's usually the other side or another faction. And so it's like, stay safe out there, guys. That's all I want to say is tensions are high. A lot of people are angry. A lot of people are violent after the whole Charlie Kirk shooting. Okay. It's turned up times 10. And I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm saying to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Be proactive, all right? Not reactive. Don't react to something that's going to happen to you. Okay, look for the signs early on and position yourself in a place for what potentially could things be going under. And I'll let you guys know how this develops. And then when it happens as well, what comes of it. Another thing you guys might want to know is that Baron Trump, that's right, Trump's son, is being tipped into potentially being appointed for the board of directors for TikTok. That's right. You guys know that TikTok has been acquired by multiple investors from the United States investors. Okay, TikTok is here. It's not going away. You know, I could have told y'all that. Okay, nothing ever happens. So I feel like that whole meme where nothing ever happens, I feel like It's been slowly things have been happening, really. I think when someone says nothing happens, look at the time. It's nothing o'clock. I think everyone's just talking about the red button and not pressing the red button. That's the nothing that a lot of people are talking about. But there's been a lot of somethings, okay? The past couple of years, a lot of lies have been changed and laws forever. So I don't think that we can communicate that nothing has happened unless we're just talking about our own little bubble. Anyway, Barron Trump tipped for top TikTok job. Say that 10 times fast. Barron Trump is being eyed for a top role at the streaming app TikTok. The U.S. president's son could be appointed to the board of the $14 billion company. It was suggested after his father sealed a deal to spin off TikTok's U.S. business from its Chinese parent. Barron's potential role was pitched by Jake Advent, Donald Trump's former social media manager, and Mr. Advent is the genius mind behind a meme-filled presidential campaign that Mr. Trump credits for helping to propel him to the White House a second time, nicknamed TikTok Jack by the president. So TikTok Jack is the guy that's basically been making all these goddamn AI memes. That's who it is. TikTok Jack. I don't know much about Barron Trump, but this is like obviously the definition of like nepotism, and people are saying this is exactly why we are kind of moving into an oligarchy where you got Trump and all of his rich friends and all the rich families being appointed to being placed in all the most powerful positions. It's also an interesting conversation that a lot of people want to talk about as well that I might bring to you guys is this bubble that we're currently having when it comes to the tech companies, including TikTok, but also like when you're talking about like Tesla, Google, OpenAI, all of these companies right now that are the top 7 are all tech companies. And then you have AI that's being pushed even more. And people are kind of worried. And I've been studying this as well with Market Watch and a lot of data with that people feel like we're in a bubble. When I say bubble, it means that a lot of companies are currently severely overvalued. When I say overvalued, it's mean like, let's say I have a company is worth $1,000, right? But there's this thing called an evaluation. Someone might say, I know your company is worth $1,000, it says right here, but I think it's worth 268 times that amount. And people will believe in it. It's like this thing, they're like, okay, I believe it's 268. So now, instead of it being at $1,000, it's now worth $268,000 or $1 billion or $1 trillion. And the amount of money that's being invested into these companies represents that 268 times trillion factor. Okay. It's interesting. I believe the numbers, I haven't double checked in a while, but I believe currently the top 7 companies and the S&P right now make up for about 30 to 35% of the entire freaking stock market. 1/3, bro. 1/3, 7 companies. There is a crazy amount of money being stored in there. So if anything happened to it, the valuations, something drastic or terrible, bro, we would see one of the biggest drops and falls of depressions of all freaking time. And you guys know when it comes to bubbles, if you've looked in the history, if you're kind of into finance, bubbles pop. All right, there's this thing, bubbles tend to have to pop. They don't usually deflate like a balloon slowly over time. They usually pop. And when that pop happens, oh my God, welcome to the next 10 to 15 years of poverty and dystopian future where the middle class gets wiped out. That's my opinion. In my opinion, what is I think it's happening, guys, okay? At least specifically now with the oligarchy and stuff, right? Is again, and I feel like this has always been happening, is making rich people more rich, making poor people more poor, and getting that middle class and making them poor as well. There was a point in time where the middle class, you would want to be middle class. Middle class meant that you had a house. Okay, it wasn't the biggest house, but you had a house and you owned it. And you had kids, and you had a family, and you guys lived nicely. And you had basically rent and bank. You know, you're just good. And that was middle class. Okay. Now, though, I feel like the idea, and this is just all around, is to take people's ownership of games, take people's ownership of music, take people's ownership of everything, housing. Okay. Anything that you can own is something that people want to lease out to you instead. That way you don't actually have anything. Okay. It's not yours. Even when you look at cryptocurrency. Okay. If you guys are familiar with like Bitcoin or Ethereum, all right, you've invested. Okay. A lot of people don't own their freaking coins. All right. The United States and a lot of people have created this thing called a stable coin or an ETFs as well, where you basically invest in the concept of the coin. It's something else. It almost doubles the coin in itself. And you're not actually owning Bitcoin. Someone else is buying Bitcoin and you are investing into the fact that someone else owns it. You don't own it. You're leasing the rights to it, but it's not yours. My point that I'm trying to make is that this has been something that I've been seeing for a very long time. And it's getting to the point too as well with AI, where now information is not yours. Now what you see is going to be controlled is not yours. What you want to see is going to be out of your hand. What you think you see, okay, is going to be fabricated. Like AI is getting... I had made this clip. I was just talking about it yesterday. This is a good segue. I made this tweet that said, welcome to the new age of the internet. AI videos are having watermarks clipped. 50% of the replies and shares located at the top are AI bots farming interactions. And the other half are the people who are genuinely believe all of this is organic. We are cooked. Okay, so watch this video. I probably should have told you to watch this video beforehand. Okay, so you already kind of know that it's AI. But a lot of people watch this video and did not realize immediately that it was AI. The reason why you don't realize immediately is because the Sora mark right here, I told you guys that Sora 2 popped out. All right, OpenAI Sam Altman basically dropped a new update that people have been using that makes making AI videos even easier and it looks even better. Okay, wait for Sora 10 to come out, bro. We're all cooked. And there's a lot of implications. I want to make I honestly want to just talk about this in the individual video. I'm so obsessed with the concept of like AI taking over and dead internet theory, dystopian futures, what the internet's going to look like right now, how some people don't recognize that we're kind of already deep into it, the inevitability of it, what's going to happen to us, to the common people, what's going to happen to jobs, what's going to happen to the tech industry, what's going to happen to people. People are going to start looking for like human to human actual interaction, genuine ones. And people are going to start making a lot more connections with AI. Okay. There are going to be a lot of people. I don't know if you've seen her that love AI. They do. They love it. And they're going to fall in love with it. And then their minds are going to get warped, bro. We're going to have AI warped minds, bro. People out here, not meth, AI, ChatGPT, psychosis. I'm not joking. It's a thing. That's a thing. You might be like, Omni, what the hell are you smoking, bro? I'm not smoking anything. The only thing I'm smoking is the reality of life, okay? Lock in, bro. Lock in.
Oh, what the? Oh my God. Hey, go. Jesus.
So it looks pretty real, right? And somebody was like, why this man's just booty up in the air? He ran, right? But why is his booty just up in the air? Is he having a panic attack? Is he having a stroke? You know, but otherwise it looks kind of real as well. And I'm not going to lie. I have thought about like what I would do if something like if, I don't know, a demon came to life and just attacked me through a window. I don't know what I would do. In my dreams, I usually just jump off the cliff. I usually just self-delete. I'm just like, whoa, I'm scared. And I'll just dive off the nearest room. I have this thing when it comes to like at least my dreams. When something happens that I don't like, I literally just commit seppuku so I can wake up because my brain just can't fathom it. My brain wakes up if I ever try to do this. I've learned how to eject it. But in real life, bro, like, I don't know, you might just shut down and you might just have your booty up in the air. And a lot of people were making jokes about why this man's butt was in the air. It's AI. Now, it took a while. When this post was first up, there was no context. But eventually later, people said AI generated video by Sora, okay? A lot of people, however, all right, have already shared this video with their friends and their families and their hee-hees and their ha-has and be like, look at this video. I can't believe it. And it's reality to them. It's reality to them. They don't know that it is AI generated. And there's a lot of videos that are flying around the internet and people are now asking themselves, is this AI? Is this AI? Is this AI? And if you're watching videos at this point and you have to ask if it's AI, if it's real, we're already cooked. We're already donezo, okay? Verification of information of videos and images can be so easily tailored, bro. The Photoshop, so dangerous. You can highlight a certain part of the video. I saw this one thing. This guy highlighted a horse. It was a brown horse, right? He highlighted it. And then he just said, make the horse white. It didn't turn the horse white in terms of like the same horse and like painted over it. It made a completely freaking new freaking horse. Reality, as we know, online digitally is absolutely cooked. You're having conversations with people who don't exist. You're replying to bots. You're seeing information that people want you to see that's not organic. And maybe right now you still have your head above water and you're able to locate it. Maybe right now. There is another population of people out there who have no idea that this is happening. They are lost in the internet sauce. They already were. Now there's even more. Okay. And these are people. These are voters. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's going to get worse. They're going to get powerful. It's going to get harder to understand. And in my opinion, I think people are going to start looking for like human to human interaction. They might bring back the original Polaroid cameras again, where people take pictures and verify with that. Cause it's, I think streaming conversations, like videos like this, where you know damn well that I cannot be replicated with AI. They'll try. They'll freaking try. But you guys know that there's something wrong in my head that zeros and ones can't replicate. There's something wrong. How I mispronounce words all the freaking time. Y'all know that I am not replicable. And people are going to be seeking that human-to-human interaction as AI starts to take over and swallow people's livelihoods and lives together as well. All right, guys, all for today's video. Okay, I will probably have a video for you guys tomorrow. Maybe not. We'll see. And I'll also probably be streaming tonight too as well on twitch.tv, twitch.tv/Inferno Omni. If not tonight, then tomorrow, whatever. I don't really have a schedule quite yet. Okay, so just hit noties for everything. Subscribe if you guys made it to the end of the video. I love y'all. Collargate continues. We got a lot of wild things happening in the political space with everything coming up with the protests. I'll give you some updates. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk to you guys about the ceasefire updates as well. Okay, people are coming back into Palestine, even though it's just complete rubble. I think so far the ceasefire agreement has been continued to be honored at this point. I'll find out for that for you guys as well. And then yeah, when it comes to the rest of the world and all of the drama in the news, I'll keep you guys posted. I love you guys. All right, stay safe on the streets because some streets are not safe, and please brush your teeth, okay? You know, just do it. Just do it. Just brush your teeth. I would hate for you and I to meet one day, and then I say you brush your teeth, and I smell your breath, and if you don't, then I know you're not flossing. I know you're not actually a real one. Go take care of yourself. Self-love. Love yourself now by brushing your teeth, and don't skip it. Okay, groom yourself. I know you might be sad, depressed, stressy, wessy, but keep that body healthy. All right, I love y'all. Y'all take it easy, peace.